those leaves right there. Get it better. And follow the stem all the way to the ground. You can see the leaves grow in segments. A segment right there, a segment right there, a segment right there, so on and so forth, all the way down to the ground. And the roots are down in there, so I'm going to dig some of those up. And also, growing right next to it is some stinging nettle. Yeah, middle of February, there's stinging nettle growing right there. And that's a real good food too. I'm going to pick that and I'm going to eat it. It has to be cooked first, of course, but I'm going to get that. But I'm going to dig up these Jerusalem artichokes. And the ground right now isn't really too bad frozen, so I should just be able to dig around. Look, there's one right there. Yeah, we're going to dig up a handful. And try to rinse them off a little bit, and I'll show you what they look like. Set these aside right there. There we go. See, there we go. There's a good view of them right there. That. Spread roots. Yeah, I'm kind of thirsty, so I'm going to get some water out of this mud puddle right here. It's just a depression in one of the pudding stones here, a nice flat spot. There's a good drink of water. I'm going to get some of it. Water to rinse some roots off with, and then I'm going to go back to the cave and see what I can do with it. Alright, these are what the Jerusalem artichokes look like once you get them up out of the ground and wash them off. Various shapes, very distinctive. They very much resemble a red russet potato. And they taste a lot like a potato, a little more earthy though, but they're really, really good. I'm glad I found these. That's going to be a good meal. And this is stinging nettle. And of course the stinging nettle is good for making porridge out of when they get older. But these young tender plants like this, so I'm surprised I found them today. But these young tender plants, you just double boil them and eat them like a pot herb, and they're really, really good. They're kind of like spinach. So, yeah, excellent. Stinging nettles like that. Just about every case where I've found them out in the wild, where I found Jerusalem artichokes, I've also found stinging nettle growing right together as a colony. They kind of coexist with each other. So those are likely places to look is for the stinging nettle patches. Of course, you can see the remnants of those a lot easier than sometimes than you can the Jerusalem artichokes. But if you closely inspect the whole patch, you'll find the stems of the Jerusalem artichokes coming up out of it. So that's a useful tip. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Look what I found. A couple of earthworms. Yep, 3 or 4 of these earthworms has more protein in them than a quarter-pound hamburger. So, just that. That rain didn't last too long. I was just out walking around. I found some wild mushrooms growing on this oak tree branch here. They're called leaf jellies. See a little mushroom right there? Pick it off of there. See how they kind of wriggle like jelly? They look like leaves almost. These are really good. There's a bunch of them. This branch is covered with them. So I'll go ahead and gather some of these too. This is an excellent food source here. Yeah, there's a nice one right there. food. That's all there is on that branch. But still, that's a fairly good sized handful of them right there, though. See? Well, I got my fire going back up again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wood burl right here, this poplar burl. It kind of looks like a snail, and I'm going to burn a hole in the bottom of it to make a seed grinder. Alright, and once my stones get hot, I'm going to have to be able to pick them up and carry them over to my work. So what I did is I just took a piece of oak and I split it down the center, put a twig in it right there, so that I can use it like a pair of tongs. All you do is grab onto it and squeeze them closed, and you can grab onto well, pretty much anything you want to grab onto, and that's what I'm going to use to pick my rocks up and set it on top of my work with. And just something simple like this can make something like that so much easier. And because the rocks are going to be absolutely red hot, and there's no way you can pick them up with your hands, or well, any other way really isn't too efficient unless you use a spoon or a pan or something like that. But just a pair of tongs like this is a very simple split piece of wood. The best way to do it. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to melt this bucket of snow to get myself something to drink. Alright, I think my rocks are hot enough. I'm going to reach in there and try to get one out and put it on there, and we'll see what it does. I may have to heat them up a little bit more. Let's dig into the fire there. Just put it on there and you press. You set your rock on there and you press it. See all the smoke coming up off of it. I have to heat them up just a little bit more. Yeah, look at that baby smoking. Yeah, you just keep doing it like that until you burn a deep hole in it. If you don't get what you want the first time, you heat your rocks up again, and you scrape all of this out. You scrape all the charcoal off. Scrape it loose. Okay, scrape it right off of there. If it doesn't get deep enough for you the first time, just repeat the process and keep doing it until you get what you want. Yeah, see there's a nice hole in it now. I'm working it deeper. I got these blow on it. Of course, this method doesn't work very well with green wood. You have to use dead, dry, standing wood. So now I got a solid coal going in the center of it, and what I do is I take my stick. Take a stick like this, and I set it right on top of the coals, and I blow. If you just blow on this coal like that, without a stick being on top of it, it'll go out every single time. So what you got to do is you got to put a stick right there, and it gives a surface for the heat to interact with, and then you blow. And the coal will keep burning. And you just kind of keep working it like that. Alright, check it out. See? It's about, I don't know, about an inch deep in there. And, you know, this one's really big enough to put some food, so I can stick my whole hand in there. This one's really big enough to put some food or whatever and grind them up. Whatever it is, you know, handfuls of seeds or roots, bark, whatever. And you can also use this as a bowl to eat out of or whatever. And see, it's kind of neat. It kind of almost looks like a snail or something. And that's all you do. That's all there is to making wood bowls, and you can make a boat like this too. Same method. And also that branch that I was using to press the rocket with. Well, while I was working the coals and blowing it, I kept rubbing it in there, rubbing the charcoal loose. And what happens is this matches up to this, so that they just fit together good. All the curves, all the curves in there all fit together from this to this. So I'm going to use this as my mandrel to grind with. And so I got kind of like both tools done at the same time. And of course I'm going to, carve the bark off of this, take the bark off of it, and maybe I'll take some sand and scrub the charcoal out of this, because I don't want to eat that or whatever. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Done. Make a handle for this axe head, and I could use it like a hand axe, but a handle would be so much better. And to do that, I need a piece of wicker line so that I can wrap it, thin it out and wrap it. And, that'll make a really good tool for chopping wood with. And also, I found this bone laying right there. Look at that. Found it laying right over there. So this I can make knife blades, I can make fish hooks, I can make a lot of stuff out of this. So this was a really, really good find here, this bone. So now that I've got this, I'm going to show you how to make stuff with bones. And it's supposed to get windy tomorrow, so if I'm going to stay here, I'm going to have to maybe close this up a little bit. We're a little more sheltered from the wind. It's kind of drippy up under here, but the temperature drops, the water will freeze and it won't drip anymore, and that won't be much of a concern. Food's not really a problem. I got creasy greens and all that kind of stuff grows all over around here. Pussy willow buds. There's a lot of Norway maples that grow around here, and the buds off of the Norway maple are really good. And also there's some black walnut trees that grow around here, so there's black walnuts on the ground to get. So food right here at this location is fairly abundant. So even in the wintertime, it's like a smorgasbord out here. There's plenty to eat, so I'm not really worried about food. But what I do need to do is get some weapons together to go hunting. I'd like to maybe go hunt a duck or something like that. And, so that's what this bone's going to be all about. I'm going to do something like this. And then I got them pieces of wood that I took off of the tree. And those make excellent weapons for fishing, hunting, and stuff like that, because they're just razor sharp and they're strong. So those are really good. And so that's what I'm going to do. All right. Well, I got my my wood here, and what I did is I thinned it right down to just a thin strip. See, big branch there, almost paper thin, and then back to a thick stick on that end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my axe head, starting on the bottom side in the center,
I'm going to wrap it. Just like that. Come around that side. Wrap this around. Make it as tight as you absolutely possibly can, so that it looks something like that. See? See? Just like that. And then I'm going to take this piece of cordage right here, and instead of tearing it apart, I may need this later, so instead of tearing this apart, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lash my handle together with it temporarily. That way I can take it apart and use it later when I need to. So just simple lashing. Simple overhand knot right there. Let's make a simple overhand knot in it like that to start it. It's all lined up. And you gotta wrap it really tightly. You gotta wrap it really tight so it don't come undone. I thought maybe I was gonna fix the rope to this with the pine sap, but if I do that, I won't be able to use my rope anymore, so I'll lose it. And I'm probably gonna need this for something else, so I've decided to just lash it and just tying it on here like this. The rope will eventually work loose, and I'll have to keep tightening it up as I use it or whatever. But the good thing is, when I need a piece of rope, I'll be able to just untie this and use it. Broke the end off right there. That'll be alright. Yeah, this may look a little crappy, but here, I got a shoestring that I'm also going to use. Tie an overhand knot, slip it over the end, just like this here. A couple half hitches, or a half hitch, whichever. Yeah, I can tie it here like this. There. And there is a stone axe, ready to use. Alright. Now, I got some other things here I want to show you. I've got this little stone knife here. See, it's made out of obsidian, or volcanic glass. And you can see that there is just absolutely razor sharp. And it's a nice little oval shaped knife. See? Yep. So I'm going to be using this quite a bit. I've got a regular belt knife with me, okay, that I use all the time. Belt knife. And the thing about a good belt knife is you want it to have a nice thick blade right there, because a lot of times what I do is I use it like an axe. You take a rock and put it on your wood and you drive it through the wood. So, and to be able to do that, you need a nice thick blade. So that's all that really matters with that. But I'm going to try to refrain from using this during this exercise. I want to use only the old stuff, the handmade things that someone would be able to get out here. And there's another kind of knife made out of bone, and it looks like a foot. This kind of knife, this technology, was taught to me by a member of the Ute Indian tribe. And let me tell you what, there's nothing like the hone of a Uted toe. This doesn't look like much, but this knife, this bone knife right here, is sharper than that steel knife I was just showing you. Even though it has a razor edge, this is much sharper. Yeah, this is a really good knife. And you can see it's just kind of a little wedge, right? And tapered right down to a nice short point. And then you can see right here, that's broken off, and I just left a little toe right there on the side. A little big toe sticking out there. And believe me, boy, that sucker will cut. And also, I've got this here that I made. See, it's a little bone knife and a gouge. You can use it for a gouge. I use it for scooping out the material inside of the red belt bracket fungus for making oil lamps and oil stoves and stuff like that. And the underside of the fungus actually makes a really good wick. So I use this tool here to cut that out, and also, you know, it's a extremely sharp knife, a really good knife. And then I've got this rope comb right here. See this little comb right here? See? Little scrimshaw in here, a little canoe with some reeds or whatever that I carved on it. Very simple tool, and I use it for raking out rope fibers, or you know, plant fibers for making rope. And these are just some things that you can make with the bones, like the bone that I found earlier. And these things I already had made, and I'm gonna take that bone and make some stuff out of it later. But you know, this is just to show you, some of the things that you can make. Alright, today I'm going to show you how to make use of some of the roots that get hard in the wintertime, like Burdock Root and Chicory root. And also I'm going to show you how to make use of a lot of the seed plants that are available this time of year, like burdock. Burdock has handfuls of seeds in them, and you got to take those out of the shells and roast them before you can eat them. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to use a couple different methods. One of them is just using a hot rock. You know, heat a hot rock up to roast the seeds on. And I've also got a small can that I'm going to use to roast some of them in. I'm going to show you how to work with these materials and transform just raw seeds into an edible food. And also I'm going to make camp coffee out of chicory. I'm going to show you how to roast the chicory roots and make coffee. Now with burdock seeds, what you do is you got to break the pods open. And inside these little pods are the seeds. Let's see. See the seeds right there? These little burdock seeds. So what I'm going to do is I got a bunch of these pods. I'm going to break all of them open and get the seeds out of it, and get rid of these husks, because I can't use the husks. All I can use is the seed. And then when my my hot rock gets hot enough, once my hot rock gets hot enough, I'll lay them on there and roast them. But that's going to take a while, so I'm going to get these prepared while I'm waiting. And also the seeds from the staghorn sumac can be roasted and eaten, but I got to get that little bit. See how they're covered with velvet, the seeds? And what you do is kind of roast them a little bit and then singe the velvet off of it, and then I can grind those up and eat them. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare those, and while I'm waiting on my fire to get ready. Now you see the burdock seeds, all you do is you break up the pods. You just break up the pods, and the seeds will come out of it. And of course you may have to blow the chaff away or whatever. But I'm using this napkin here. You can just kind of roll the seeds up together, and the fluffy stuff comes up to the top. the seeds kind of sink to the bottom. So once I get this cleaned out, there'll be a double handful of seeds here. Processing the burdock seed isn't really too hard. That's all you got to do is just break them up and roll them around on something and kind of separate the chaff from the seed. And see, when you're done, nothing but pure seeds. And when my rock gets hot enough, I'm gonna roast them, and then I'm gonna show you what to do with them after that. And in the meantime, I'm going to start me some water to boil. I've got my chicory root and my burdock root is already roasted up. They only take a few minutes. So I'm going to grind up chicory and burdock, and I'm going to show you how to make coffee. And for sumac seeds, what you do is I just put them in a can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it right over there on top of the fire and roast the velvet off of it. Once you roast that velvet off of there, you're going to be able to get to the seeds. And that's what I'm going to do. It only takes a few minutes, so I'm going to shut the camera off because I might burn these if I try to talk and do this at the same time. But I'll show them to you when I get done. Alright, you see my sumac seeds are all nice and roasted up. They kind of turn black in there, but because of the fuzz that's on them. And that velvet's edible. You don't have to worry about trying to get the velvet off of there. I always just roast them up really good, put them into my seed grinder, and grind them up just like that and eat it. And that little bit of velvet on there actually has some good nutritional food value to it. But you got to kind of roast it a little bit first. So I'm going to set these aside and wait till my burdock seeds are ready, and I'm going to grind these both together and eat them. Alright, with the burdock root, once it's roasted, all you really want off of it is just the bark. There's a thin bark on the outside, and you just roast it until it's crunchy and dark, and you peel that bark off of there. And you just peel that off, and once you get enough of it, put it in my grinder, and I just grind it up. And then you grind up your chicory roots. And you see they're just look like little twigs, but they're really roasted until they're crunchy. So what I do is I put that in my grinder, and I grind it up. Just put them in there like that. Then what I do is I'm just going to take and put that right into my boiling water. Alright. Burdock in there. I'm going to put some more chicory root in it. Hey, we're really camping here, huh? Yeah, that's all you do. You just you roast and grind your chicory roots, and I'm gonna let that boil for just a minute. I'm gonna pour it off into a cup and show it to you, and you'll see it. It makes a really dark, flavorful, tasty coffee substitute that is caffeine free. All right, let's pour some of this coffee right here. Let's see how we did. Oh yeah, see, look here. Ooh, that's hot. Ow. Ow. Well, if I had a nice white cup, you can see how dark it really is, but this makes a really good, dark, flavorful coffee. And it's just roasted chicory root and roasted burdock root. Oh, it smells good. It smells good, and it really tastes good. This is an excellent way to extract vitamins, minerals, and food value out of an otherwise unusable plant. burdock and chicory roots in the wintertime. Well, they're woody and inedible anyway, but when you roast them and boil them like that, you get the nutrients out of it. And it's a really convenient way to process foods that have gone inedible. In fact, the wild carrot, the Docus carota, when they get old, they turn woody. The roots turn woody, and you can roast them, grind them up, and cook them like that, and get the vitamins and minerals out of them that way. Roots, I'm gonna take the stone out of the fire, and I'm gonna put the seeds on it, roast them, and then flip them off onto this leather pad here. And it literally only takes a few seconds, so watch carefully. Alright, I'm going to show you these couple weapons that I managed to scrounge up. This here, this is just a piece of oak that a tree had crashed into another oak tree and pulled it down, and this is a splinter that I took off of it. And the thing about this, I use these for fishing spears. The thing about water is when light enters the water, it deflects and changes angle. And if you're trying to spear fish, if you aim directly at the fish, you'll miss it every time because the fish isn't where it looks like it's at because of the angle of deflection of the light. Well, with this spear, with this kind of spear, you see how you got this change of angle right here? Well, when you're fishing with this kind of a spear, if you aim straight along the back side, when you're jabbing at the fish, the point right here matches that angle of deflection of the light, and it'll hit the fish every single time. So this is like a maintenance-free, hassle-free method of spear fishing. And these are really convenient to use. They're really easy. You just pick them right off the tree. They come off there razor sharp. And all you gotta do is fix that longer handle to it. And these are really, really good weapons to use. And everything out in nature, when you're trying to survive, everything you do is an effort. I mean, there's an effort to everything. And any chance that you can get to have something where you don't have to put any work into it, you made a really wise decision to pick it up and use it because it just saves you the effort. And these are really neat too. Secondly, I found a javelin out there this morning too, and look at this. See how sharp that is? Look, it's as long as a spear. It's almost as tall as I am. See that? It's about 4.5 feet tall, and it's kind of slender and skinny, and it bends. But if you're hunting rabbits, or raccoons, or squirrels, or anything like that, and you can find a javelin like this, see, that's just drawn right down to a nice point. And you just pick these right off the tree. This just come right off the tree, just like this. I didn't do anything to it. It's not carved, it's not sanded, not ground. I didn't do anything to it but peel it right off of the tree. So it's just a maintenance-free weapon that works really, really well. Got all flooded out yesterday. We had about 4 inches of snow come in, and then 2 inches of rain, and it just rained really, really hard all day yesterday. And I almost threw in the towel and gave up. But today's a whole different day. It's sunny today. It's nice. And I've walked further up the mountain, and I got a little bit of a shelter that I started working on here. And this is probably where I'm going to stay tonight. Check it out. Knocked over tree, and I'm gonna give you a view of the inside of it. I'm just leaning some boughs up. You can see outside of it some branches, and I'm gonna put some boughs up against it and close it up. I'll crawl right up inside here and sleep tonight. Really not much sense in building a big fire or whatever. It's not really that cold. It's going to be in the 20s tonight. I'll build a fire for light or whatever, but I'm not going to worry about using it for heat. So, I managed to, most of the day, got wet and all that. It was kind of bad. But, today's a whole different day. Nice and sunny. Out here in this kind of forest, looking for food, things you could expect to find are things like acorns, hickory nuts, walnuts, pine cone seeds, pine tree root bark that has been roasted and ground up. Eat that. Unless you find a clearing where there's a lot of good weeds and stuff like that, and sometimes along the creeks where the woods open up a little bit, you can find the various edible weeds like winter cress, various mustards that grow here, burdock, Docus carota, Queen Anne's lace, a lot of stuff like that. In the deep woods, the boreal woods like this is, if you're hungry and you're looking for food, you need to think about nuts, tree nuts. And acorns are really good food, and they even taste salty. They're a good source of salt. When you cook them and dry them out and roast them, they're really salty. I decided it just wasn't right. It just wasn't what I wanted. Yeah, it just wasn't what I wanted. So I'm climbing further up this mountain right here. See if I can find looking for a suitable campsite. And actually, I have to go across this. It's not a real big mountain. It's just a small hill, really. But everybody calls it this. Water right here. That's good. Flat. Some good rocks to build me a little fire on top of. I can lay on top of the rock and stay warm if I need to. And right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare something that I've been carrying with me ever since the beginning. I haven't opened it yet, but what I got here is this little piece of bamboo or cane. Cane. It's closed on one end, and the other end, I drilled a hole out of it and plugged it with a piece of birch bark, and then I sealed it with pine pitch, and I got the seeds in there. It's like a little nature's mason jar, and what I did is I took some wild cucumber seeds and roasted them until they were dry, and put them in here and sealed them up. I've had this at home for about 2 years now, and I'm going to open it and grind some of these seeds up and eat them. So all you got to do is just break the seal. You see the pine sap coming off of there. Just regular old pine sap, piece of bark there. See, here, look at this. See, those are wild cucumber seeds, and they're really kind of hard. They're almost too hard to just put in your mouth and chew once you've roasted them like that. But what I've got is a little wooden pestle that I made out of this is a burl, wood burl off of a poplar tree, off the poplar tree. And all I do is put my seeds in there.
I always need one of these every time I go out. I need one of these, so I just got to have to bring one with me whenever I come. And that's how to grind up all your stuff, your root barks and your nuts and all that. You just get you can use a flat rock. You can use 2 stones. You put it on a flat rock and grind them like that. But that can get grit. You know, you get a little bit of grit. You get stone dust in your mouth or whatever. And, that's not too appealing when you're chewing on it. But if you use wood doesn't put anything. You don't get any grit from the wood. And of course, if you do grind dust off the wood, you're just eating wood dust. So it doesn't hurt you. A lot better than eating stone dust. So that's why I use wood. Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat.
So this time of year, up here where I live, everybody wears these snowproof duck boots. Yeah, insulated. Yeah. And don't forget the feather down filled coat. So my next few videos are going to be about how to survive in the wilderness in snow and in the cold weather. And one of the main tools I use in winter weather survival are hot rocks, like these 2 black stones right here. I normally carry those with me in my pack, or if I don't carry them, these aren't really too hard to find. And stones of this size, maybe not black stones, but other stones of this size are pretty easy to find pretty much anywhere. And of course, let's not forget my bracket fungus. I use these for wicks, for oil wicks, to burn oil with, to heat my hot rocks. So if you have those 3 things in your pocket and it's cold outside, well, and you have a way to get warm anywhere. I always have loved the look of fresh snow on the trees, and nothing like it. And food's not ever really a problem in the wintertime up here in the north. You see, like this plant right here, it's called wintercress. Like a dandelion-like plant, and it'll stay green just like that underneath the snow, and it'll even take sub-zero temperatures and survive it. So they always just kind of linger around. You can always find these in the wintertime. And it's a potherb like dandelions. And what I really need to do is find a basswood tree where I can get thorns like this basswood thorn here. And you can see this one's much larger than my hand. It's going to make perfect hunting weapons for me. But if I'm going to make enough of them to last in the winter, I've got to find a basswood tree. That's one thing about me in the wintertime. The woods is a lot more open because all the leaves are off the trees. Everything's all frozen and everything. And it seems like I always tend to wander farther in the wintertime than I do any other time of the year. And when I'm gathering stuff like those basswood thorns and finding them, sometimes I get carried away. Reeling your fish tight, Yana.
I got one.
You got one.
I got him. Hi, fish.
You caught one.
I caught one.
Good girl.
I gotta get him. to hold him.
All right, hold on. Let's get him off the hook.
Okay.
Here, we'll put him on a little branch stringer. See, look. Take the branch.
Uh-huh.
Put it through there.
Yes.
Hold on. Uh-oh, come here. Make sure he doesn't flop out of your hands.
Okay.
See, you got to run it out of his mouth. It's got to go out of his mouth. See, run the stick through there.
Yes. Come on, Daddy, please. I gotta hold you. Daddy, I will hold you.
You see, honey? That branch makes a nice little stringer. See? Caught you on his second fish. Show everybody. Show us your fish. Now that's amazing. Good job. Is that a good one?
Yes, that's a good one.
All right. Okay, you gonna lead the way out? Go on.
Much. What's on foot? Much. What's on foot? Much. What's on hook? Much. What's on hook? Much. Mommy. Go in the cage.
Me lost in the woods in the wintertime isn't no big deal. But in those instances when you have a small child with you, out fishing or whatever, and you get lost in the woods, and it's winter time and there's snow all over the ground, you're lost out there, and that's a very, very serious situation. And I intend to address a few of those issues this winter with some of my upcoming videos, and I hope that everybody watches it. Yeah, almost home now. I'm kind of walking all day. That pemmican sure came in handy. To just kind of rehash everything I talked about this week. I try to rely on my clothing to keep me warm when I'm out in a winter environment like that, and not my ability to build a fire. Your clothing's the most important thing. And as long as you're dressed well and you don't sweat or get wet, your clothes will keep you warm. There was a couple times this week where I did sweat and my feet got sweaty. The liners of my boots got moistened from that, and of course I had to stop and dry them out with a fire. But I was using the fire to dry my clothes, and not necessarily to keep me warm. And that's a very important philosophy to stand on when you go out into the wilderness like that, is to dress properly and not rely on the fire to keep you warm. So you'll go a lot further when you dress according to that way of thinking. It's a lot better. And I didn't really get a chance to discuss everything I wanted to discuss with you, like how to work with pine pitch and how to make certain things with pine sap, and making cordage and things like that. So I'll have to do that on another show. And as far as gathering the foods out in the wintertime like that, I've tried to show you every available thing there is, except I didn't show you maple seeds. You can find maple seeds on the ground under a maple tree. Beech nuts. The beech nuts that fall out of the trees are really, really good. They're tiny and they're kind of hard to shell out, so they're a little bit of work. But there's some effort that goes into it. But the food you get is well worth it. And I didn't really touch on any of the root barks that you can gather and roast and grind up and eat. Even though I've mentioned them, I didn't actually show you that, and that's something I want to show you later on. But I won't be able to do it on this film. That'll be some other time. And I tell you, I'm tired. I've just been walking for 8 days now, just walking back to 2-3 different campsites. and dealing with all the cold and the wet and all that, it really taxes your strength and your stamina. And that's the two most important things when you're in a survival situation, is to keep a lively wit about yourself and to not let the environment get the better of you. If it gets you down, you'll give up. If you give up, you're dead. And that's not good.